This is a question related to the graphs of exponential functions. One main skill we'll use is substituting a particular value into the functions. Here we've got the graphs of y equals 4 to the x, y equals a to the x, and y equals b to the x, where a and b are positive constants, in which the graphs of y equals b to the x is the reflection image of the graph of y equals a to the x, with respect to the y-axis. We need to determine whether the following statements are true. Part A is b smaller than a. Let's focus on the graphs related to a and b. If you recall, the graph of an exponential function with a base greater than 1, for example 2 to the x, is always like this, sloping upwards from left to right. Doesn't the graph of y equals a to the x shape like this? Yeah, so we know a is greater than 1. On the contrary, if the base is between 0 and 1, for example 1/2 to the x, the graph is always sloping downwards. You must see that the graph of y equals b to the x shapes like this. So b is between 0 and 1. Now we've got a is greater than 1 and b is less than 1, so b is smaller than a. What if we forget the above relation? Do you remember the skill we mentioned earlier? We can try to substitute a particular value into the functions. In this case, we can substitute x equals 1. Why 1? Because when we put x equals 1, a to the first power is equal to a, and b to the first power is equal to b. We can compare them on the figure directly. A to the first power, that is a, is here. B to the first power, that is b, it's here. Obviously, b is smaller than a, right? Part B is a greater than 4. We look at the graphs of y equals 4 to the x and y equals a to the x. Can we apply the same method we just used? Again, we consider the values at x equals 1. When x equals 1, a to the first power, that is a, is here, and 4 to the first power, that is 4, it's here. Here we go, a is smaller than 4. So it's not true that a is greater than 4. Part C is 4 times b greater than 1. Okay, we know from part B that a is less than 4. How do we relate it to the value of b? Is there a clue about the relation between a and b? How about the fact that the graph of y equals b to the x is the reflection image of the graph of y equals a to the x? Yeah, from this, if you remember the features of exponential functions and the graphs, you can acquire that b is equal to 1 over a directly. Can we get this from the figure? Here, because the two graphs are reflection images, b to the first power is equal to a to the negative 1. And we have b is equal to 1 over a as well. At this point, we've got a relation between a and b, and then we can convert the range of a, which we get from part B that is smaller than 4, into that of b. Finally, we can conclude that 4 times b is greater than 1. In all, when you encounter a problem related to exponential functions and the graphs, and you need to find the range of values of their bases, try to substitute a value into them. And one may be a good choice. You may then compare their values on the figure directly.